Welcome to this edition of In-Depth Alaska. I'm Tracy Sinclair. We lost 10 Alaskans on that devastating plane crash on February 5th on Norton Sound. Reporter Georgina Fernandez sat down with Stacey Moncur, wife of JD Moncur, who was on board Flight 445. Here is an extended version of that conversation. Please note that partway through the interview, Georgina's mic dies, but we thought it was important enough to continue the conversation, so we have boosted it as best we can so we can hear Stacey's replies.
So tell me, how's your family holding up right now?
It's a terrible, horrible, awful thing that has happened, and, it's awful. But we feel so much love from our community and from people we don't know. We feel people's prayers. We feel the goodness. We just feel loved. Like, there's so much love. We are sad. We are brokenhearted. But we feel loved. So kind of a mix of horrible and love all at the same time.
Can you tell me a little bit about your husband?
Yes. Any chance I get to talk about JD Moner, I'm going to take every time. He was an amazing man. He grew up in Lovell, Wyoming, and he grew up on a family farm, and he was a farm kid through and through. He used to spend most of his summers plowing the fields, and his brothers would be on the other tractors, and when certain songs would come on, they would get on the CB and say, hey, you got to turn the radio station to this or whatever, and they'd hurry as fast as they could to get the fields plowed so that they could go and water ski and do all the fun things. JD loved to country dance. When he was, I think, in high school, he got a great big Cadillac that he restored and redid all the interior, and they could fit so many people in that Cadillac and had such a good time. He's great. He ran track. He was the state champion in the 3200 relay in track and field, and then he ran track for BYU. He graduated from BYU in mechanical engineering, and he worked up here in Alaska at Support Services of Alaska. He loved camping and fishing and motorcycles, and he has a little airplane. We loved going out on the boat. We loved doing all of those things. The thing that he loved about doing all those things, though, is he did it with the people that he loved. And the one thing I know about JD Moncur is that he loved God and he loved people, and he loves his family. JD was the one that would help everybody. During the earthquake during 2018, when the earthquake happened, our house got rocked pretty good. And he left immediately to go get our daughter from school. And there was a guy out there that was directing traffic, trying to help people pick up their kids. And JD took his coat off and just handed it out the window and said, here you go. It's too cold for you to be out here without that. And he made sure that we were okay. And then he spent the next 4 days going house to house to make sure that everybody had heat, to make sure that everybody was okay. He was pretty amazing that way. Really great.
I talked to several people in line yesterday at Soda and S'mores, and everyone was saying the same thing, that he was such a giver, always there for everyone in the community. Yeah. Tell me, what do you think his legacy he leaves behind with that is?
Well, I think honestly there's going to be a great big hole, because JD is the one that everybody calls. So there's going to be a hole left, because he loves everybody and he just is helpful to everyone, and he always has a smile. And one way I would describe JD is he's a tease. He is such a tease, and he loves to make people smile. He loves to make people laugh. He's also a really hard worker, and I think that really shows in the kids, that they all know how to work hard, and they know how to play harder, and they just really he just really loved his family. Like, I can't say that enough. Being a father was the most important thing to him. And then serving God, I would say, was, well, the most important thing for sure. He had he had a great faith, and he lived his faith.
So take me a step back. How did you guys two meet?
That is a long story that we're not going to film.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Can I ask you off camera?
Maybe.
That's your love story to keep and hold.
We're just not going to share that one today. Sorry.
No, you're good.
Okay. Yeah, we'll talk later. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see.
Well,
it's a good one.
Whoever you guys end up together, I love it. We can laugh and smile.
We're good. So,
though, tell me, how long were you guys together for?
We got married in 2013, and so since then.
What's your favorite thing about him?
His eyes, his sparkle eyes. When JD smiles and he's excited about something, he just gets this look on his face that is just joyful. And he does think that life should be joyful 100%, and that we should find joy in the things that we are doing. And and he smiles, and he's just fabulously fun. He also loves to talk to people. We went on to Peru last year. I think we went to Peru, and he made friends everywhere we went. I mean, he speaks Spanish. He served a mission for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in Argentina. And so everywhere we went, he just made friends, and we got to meet people from all over the world that we still are in contact with. And it was really a neat experience, and we loved going to Peru.
So I'm going to take you back to last week. Was he on his way home when the accident happened?
He was up in Unalakleet for a job, and they'd gotten, flight after flight canceled, and he was trying to get home. He was trying to get home. And I talked to him that morning several times, and all of our conversations that day were really good. And we text each other every morning. He sends me a text that says, "Good morning, beautiful, I love you." And I text him back with a "Good morning, handsome, I love you." And that's just a really sweet, wonderful thing. And we had talked and texted several times that day. And the last text I got from him was, "We are headed to Nome," with lots of exclamation points. He was really excited to be coming home. We had plans with one of our children that night to go to dinner. And I wasn't hearing from him, and I wasn't hearing from him. We have a rule in our house because he travels a lot, and he has a plane and different things himself. And so the deal is, when you get somewhere, the rule is you have to text landed. And he didn't text landed. And I kept looking, and then eventually I figured out what had happened. There was a wonderful police officer that came to our house that was nothing but grace and compassion, and I'm so thankful for the way he handled everything. I'm so grateful for our church community that came over immediately that night and supported and loved and helped. And they have been there every step of the way. We've had such great friends who are taking care of things that I don't even know about. Truly just a great, I'm just grateful. I'm so grateful for the people up in Nome and the volunteers and the search and rescue that came to help and to search. I am so thankful for the military that came and did so much, and so many people risked their own lives to bring my husband home to me. And I am so thankful for that. Thank you. He is such a good man, and he's one of the best, and he is going to be so missed. And he had an impact on everyone that he met. Like I say, he loved to tease, he loved to joke. He just wanted people to feel at ease and to enjoy life. And he was really big on reaching out to the one, and on he wanted to be on people's lists, like meaning that the people that you call when something bad happens. And he wanted to be that person for people. He wanted to be the one that people could count on, that he would go over and he would help. He just loved serving other people, and he loved serving his Heavenly Father. And that's probably one of the things right now that is really, really holding us together, is that we believe in eternity. You know, it's not just about right now, it's about forever. And I waited a long time for him, and I only had him for a really short time, but I know I'm going to have him again. And that's what really gets me through.
You're talking, you know, how he was such a giver, always there, stepping up, helping whoever needed, strangers, whoever. Now you're getting that same support back from people. Do you think that in the way, you know, him looking out for you?
Absolutely. I think that's a really great way to look at it, because I think so many people are reaching out because he reached out to everyone. And so I think it's really neat to have that back. You know, yeah, it's amazing. People are being so incredibly kind and good and generous. And again, we feel those prayers. We feel that love. We really feel lifted and carried. And it's pretty amazing. And I truly, our community is fabulous, just fabulous.
Talk to me about that, the work he did, giving them just to our local community, but also throughout the state.
So he works for Support Services of Alaska as he's a commissioner. So he goes to villages all over the state and helps with their water treatment systems and just different buildings, and does a lot on bases and really all over the state. And he loves traveling to different villages and just getting to experience truly rural Alaska.
Do you know what kind of got him into doing that as a job?
He is a mechanical engineer, and he used to work for the Army Corps of Engineers. And so he was a civilian in the Army Corps of Engineers, and then he just transferred over to Support Services of Alaska. So if he could have his dream job, it would be working, you know, for NASCAR somewhere, but you know.
So tell me a little about that. So outside of work, what did he like to do for fun?
He loved to snow machine, loved to snow machine, and he loved to go and ride really hard with the guys, and he loved to go out in the Dutch Hills. He loved Turnagain. Any day that he was on a sled was a good day. Yeah, and those were the days where I would worry more, but it's okay. They always had such a good time, and in fact, he went riding the Saturday before he died. So he got one good ride in this year, which was great. So he also loved hiking. He loved camping. He loved fishing. The Russian River is his and our daughter's favorite spot to go fishing on the Russian. And we loved going halibut fishing out of Homer and Prince William Sound, just driving around looking at glaciers and looking for families of otters, and just enjoying the beauty of Alaska. He loves Alaska, and so this was absolutely his happy place.
How did he get up here?
Through the Army Corps of Engineers. Yeah, when he was a civilian. Yeah.
Do you know what year he moved up here?
No. I want to say 2008. I think it was 2008. Yeah. Yes.
You were also talking to me about, you know, while I was here, you talked about, you know, people in Nome helping you out, but just the police officer, everyone.
Yeah.
Kind of talk to me about that support you've received over this past almost week.
Word started to get out on Friday morning that the plane was missing, and we had probably 30 to 50 people over at the house, just praying and waiting to hear, and cleaning and just taking care of so many things that I didn't even know what was going on. But just to be there to love and support and just show that kindness, that was amazing. to not just be alone. And then so many of his family members contacting our kids in other states so that they wouldn't be alone, and then getting them up here as soon as they could. Everybody just put forth a monumental effort to support us and be with us and help us. It's been monumental. And then the amount of texts and Facebook and all the social media and just so much outreach. And it's interesting because nobody knows what to say, right? It's terrible and it's horrible, but the amount of love that is so very, very real, and it's great. You don't have to know what to say. It's just amazing when someone shows up with a hug and they just tell you that they love you and that they're praying for you, and that's all. That's amazing.
I know there's hundreds of people you don't know who are sending that
it's
same
true.
love right now, same prayers and thoughts to your family.
And it's been really amazing. We've been at the Family Assistance Center that they've set up, and that's been incredible to get to meet the other families. And when I've been talking to some of their parents and their siblings or children, I'm like, JD met your daughter. This is, and he had already told me about her, and that was really neat to be able to make some of those connections with people that I didn't know, but JD had talked about her and how cool she was and how she had this really great job and as a teacher mentor, and it was really neat to be able to share that with them. The people that were in the Family Assistance Center were so good and so kind and did so much to keep us informed and let us know what was happening. It was amazing.
What's the legacy your husband leaves behind?
Service and faith. Absolutely. Service to others and faith in God would be what he would leave behind, absolutely. Sorry.
No, you're good. Can you tell me a little bit about his faith?
Yeah. So we are members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and he served in various positions in the church. He did a lot in our young men's organizations, and he was always working with the youth. He loves the youth. He wants nothing more than for teenagers to be successful in their life and to grow up and have faith in God and have faith in themselves, that they can do hard things and that they can do hard things well. And he worked a lot. He was the bishop of our congregation, and so he worked a lot with everybody, but his favorite was working with the youth. I used to work with the teenage girls in our congregation, and so he would come a lot with me because, when we do the camping trips and all of that kind of stuff, and he would come and have to just set everything up and do all the stuff because he was awesome that way. And when I was really, how do I say that? When I didn't have to, when I wasn't, how do I say that, you guys? Sorry. When I was released, sorry.
When somebody else got called to that.
Okay. When someone else got called to be in charge of the teenage girls in our church, and I let our daughter know, I said, hey, I'm not going to be doing that anymore. And she goes, okay, so what does that mean for me? And I said, well, Dad and I aren't going to be going to camp anymore. And she said, what? And I said, yeah, Dad and I aren't going to go to camp anymore. And she said, well, Dad will still go. Dad always goes. And you don't do camp. Dad's the one that does camp, which was really funny because I work really hard. But it's okay. Dad and Robert are the one that makes it fun. Anyway, but yeah, so he just served everywhere he went, and he loves the youth, and he wants them all to be successful. Last night, all the youth in our congregation came over last night, and they heart attacked our house, and then they sang to me, and they were so sweet and so kind, and just really great.
How does it feel, just feeling the love right now from everyone?
It's amazing. It's overwhelming. It is just, it's what's carrying us through. It's fantastic, you know. Yeah, we're in a horrible position, but again, there's so much love and goodness that is underneath all of that, which is amazing. So JD and I, like I say, we believe in forever, and that's because of the covenants that we made, and that is something that is really important to us, and that we want to make sure that we always are doing what God would want us to do.
So what's next for your family now?
That is a really good question. We are going to continue to breathe in and out, and we are going to continue to love each other and to love other people and to serve and to do what He would want us to do. In all honesty, what He would want us to do is exactly what He has done His whole life, which is if you have the opportunity to do something kind for someone else, you do it. And if you have the opportunity to go and play, you do it. So that would be
His legacy.
Yeah.
Right now, is there anything the community can do for you guys to keep supporting you and everyone else who was on that plane?
You know, we are just so thankful for all that has happened. Soda and some more, my goodness. I went yesterday, I drove past and I saw that line all the way around the block. And so I pulled in, and I was with my mother-in-law, and she said, "You can't go up there, you can't cut the line." I said, "I'm cutting the line." And I totally pulled up right, and I got out of my car and I gave them such big hugs. And as I did that, I had people just getting out of their cars to come and hug me. And some of them I didn't even know. It was amazing, and I was just, people are good, and I was just so grateful for that. And the other families that are going through this, we're praying for them with all that we have. It is really difficult, and it is really hard, and we hear their stories and we hear about them, and it's really neat to hear about these other people and their lives and what they were doing and their legacies. And that has kind of been a really cool thing, to get to know them and to learn about all of these wonderful people.
What's your relationship with those other families right now?
We see each other every day at the Family Assistance Center, and that has been a really, like I say, a really bonding experience. And it's been a good place to grieve with each other. And again, just to hear about their loved one has been really a good thing. And I'm assuming eventually we'll continue to reach out to each other. Yeah, it's been, like I say, it's terrible, but there are such elements of goodness too.
And if there's anything you can tell JD, I'm sure you do talk to him.
I do, yeah.
What would you tell him?
I would tell him that I love him. He knows that. We said it a lot, and he showed it all the time. So I know that he knows I loved him, and I know that he loves me, and I would say, I'm going to see you again, and I love you, and I love you. Thank you for being you. We used to say JD had his JD-ness, because he's a little hard to describe sometimes. He's a lot. He used to teach every kid everywhere, starting with his nieces and nephews, but you had to say the magic words. And I'm an elementary school teacher, and when he would come in sometimes to the classroom, he would have to, he'd always teach them the magic words, and they would always say, okay, please, can I, whatever, and he said, that's not the magic words. What are the magic words? And I would be, JD is the greatest. So they had to say, JD is the greatest, and then he'd give them whatever they wanted, which was really great. So.
Is there anything else you want to add on?
I don't know. I'm heartbroken, completely heartbroken, but faithful, and know that I'll get to be with him again. And yeah, I love him. He lived life big, and he lived life wonderfully, and I don't think he has any regrets. I think he took advantage of every opportunity to do good, and to play, and to serve, and to love, and to learn. He's just good. He's just good through and through.
Thank you to Stacey Moncur for sitting down with us, and thank you for listening to In Depth Alaska. Please like and subscribe to this podcast.